okay, let's just talk about the first folder. Okay, so you just entered the website. Okay, first folder is there. What should you do? What should be on
Yeah.
that first folder? And what is the importance of that first folder?
Yeah. So I know that typically the opinion is you come to a landing page or a web page on the main website and you think, I need to somehow twist this user's arm and make sure that they convert. And so you bombard them with this primary CTA nonstop, right? And in a lot of cases, a lot of companies will do multiple CTAs. I mean, I posted one, I think it was like Zoom, like way back. They might have changed it by now, but they had 7 CTAs just above the fold. 7 different ones. Webinar, get a demo, free trial, download now. It was insane. It was just everywhere. And I think that there is something like attention, deficit that happens. You start to spread your attention too thin or it gets too overwhelming. I think there's like a statistic that we make like 10,000 decisions a day or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't want to add to the cognitive load of the user, right? They're already consuming way too much information. So at that point, I think you can make it easy on yourself as a company, as a marketer, to just say, if the only job of this section is to get the user to maybe read the next section, make 1 or 2 simple decisions between 2 choices. Either I scroll down and read some more, or I'm ready to engage, or maybe they leave. They're not ready just yet, but they're thinking about it. They come back at some point later. Cool. That's amazing. You're putting the buyer first. So writing the copy to say, this section is going to lead me to the next section, right? And so this is where some of that like user design kind of comes into play. I read this book called A Conversion Code, and he says, if copy is king on a landing page, then design is queen. It's not one or the other, right? So utilizing white space appropriate, but maybe even having a peek of that second section and what the title of that section is. But in the first fold, I would say you want to start with something that's most compelling. Some people try to lead with the problem. Calendar scheduling made easy, something like that. Or finally, an easy way to schedule meetings. Or saying it takes an average of 3 emails to schedule a meeting, or 7 emails, or whatever it is, right? Or scheduling emails is tedious. So that's kind of like one of 2 ways you can go. You can take more of a positive route and talk about what the capability is of the product that's going to enable the user to do something. Or you can just say, hey, I empathize with this problem. I typically lead with capability because you want them to feel a little more empowered, right? And say, here's what you can do now. And then go into like more of a problem section that actually talks deeper about the actual problem that they're experiencing. But I think that's where good copywriting comes into play. But them seeing, okay, there's a little peek of the problem section coming up, and then scrolling down and saying, okay, what is this problem? And I think that's the thing, is like, we either information stuff all these pages, because one of the things I look at every time I go to a landing page or a website, I'm like, let me see what the train of thought here was with each of these sections. Do they really lead to one another? Most times it's not. It's a stakeholder pot roast, right? Here's a hero, 16 people had an opinion on it, so it's all fluff. Then you have like a CTA right underneath it for some like top of funnel content, even though that's not what the page is about. Then we go into like, oh, look at all our logos and our awards and how great they are. Then you have some like descriptions about the product, but we start to feature dump. It gets really long. Then you have some product documentation link. Then you have a link to all your partners. Then you have the integrations. It's like, we've just done this like SaaS vomit on the page, right? And instead, wouldn't this be a better story? This is what we enable you to do in the most summarized sense. Here's our product category and here's who we are for. Here's a sneak peek into how the product works if you're curious. We've helped other companies just like you. We understand that this is the problem you're facing. Okay, and here's our solution to that problem. Here's how we've solved it for other people, testimonials. If you're interested in more, you can contact us, and here's what you can expect after you do. We'll reach out to you in 24 hours. We will talk about your specific use cases, and we're happy to give you a customized demo. Is that a story or is that not a story?